All right, so we've been going over polynomial expressions. The first one is 12. It is like 12 to the x times 0. In standard form, it's 12. Its degree is 0. It is a constant. It has one term, and it's a monomial. Second one, it's 8 plus 7x. We put the 7x in the front because it always is ordered from greatest exponent to smallest exponent. It has a degree of 1 because x is to the first power. You take that exponent and it matches your degree. It is linear because when we graph this, it makes a straight line. It has two terms, the 7x and the 8, and it is a binomial. This one here, we had y squared is a higher exponent, so it goes first. 2y, this has a power 1, so it goes second, and then 4 has a power of 0, so it goes last. The degree and the exponent match, so that's a second degree. It is a quadratic. There's nothing I can use to help you with that one. It has 3 terms, 1, 2, and 3, and it is a trinomial. This guy, it has a maximum exponent of 3, so it is a third degree. My x cubed goes first, my x squared goes second, my x goes next, and my number goes last. That is called a cubic. There are 4 terms. And don't judge, I don't know what this is called. We'll have to look that up. Okay.
Should I Google it?
We'll do it together. Okay, so this is quadrinomial. Good job, guys.
I knew it. I'm the one who said it first.
Quadrinomial. Okay, so we are going to finish this chart by putting these guys in order. The negative 9x to the 4th goes first. If it has a negative in front of it, when you're reordering it, that negative gets sucked onto the 9. So this would be negative 9x to the 4th.
But didn't it already have a negative on the 9, so wasn't it already like sucked on?
Mm-hmm. But some people lose track of it. So the next one that comes up, because this one has an x to the 0, the next highest is 6x squared. And he is positive. The last one is the plus 7. So when you're ordering them, numbers by themselves will always be on the end. Higher the exponent, the more in front you are. This has a degree of 4. It is called a quartic. Quartic. Yeah. Quar meaning like 4. There are 3 terms. We've already done this one, so it gets to be called a trinomial. Because I wanted you to see if you didn't have a 4, 3, 2, or 1, how you would order a trinomial with a different kind of exponent. Okay, so let's do this together. What is the degree of each polynomial? Your choices are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th. So let me show you the first one. This has a degree of 1 because it's x to the first power. This one's easy. This is a degree of 7. This next one is the tricky one. I didn't have this memorized until, last year. This actually has a degree of 5. Because it's not just x's or just y's. If it were, think about this. If this were x squared and x to the third, what would the degree be? Yeah, would be 5. So when you have different letters, you just add, and they're being multiplied. Just check out here. If this were added, it would be a different story. But because we're multiplying, you add those two together. That's the Trixie's one. So put a little star next to that, because you have to remember that. And with a show of hands, what about 4? What degree is 4?
0.
The show of hands.
No.
And
That's a hand.
but your voice is ruining it for you.
No.
So the degree is 0. All right, you guys, take a moment, put the degree next to these guys, and we'll check your answers in 30 seconds. All right, so the first one, it's a power 1 plus a power 1. So our degree is 2. For this one, it's a power 4 plus a power 1. Technically, negative 7 has a power 0, so 0, 4, and 1 is still 5.
0.
This is 0. And this is 1. Yay! When you're ready, go ahead and turn. So it's where you go biggest and smallest. Okay, Chris. Oh, I already feel like that. You can ask me anything. Okay. So there's 2 ways we're going to classify. 2 ways we're going to classify the polynomial. One is to tell you what degree it is, and one is to tell you how many terms there are in the polynomial. So the first one, we take the biggest exponent and write it first. Then we take the next one and write it. So now it's in standard form. The degree that's the highest exponent is 2. And how many terms do we have? We have 2 terms, and that is called a binomial because we ride a bicycle. Bicycle has 2 wheels, binomial has 2 terms. All right, a little bit harder here. We're going to take the third power and put it first because he's the biggest. I am right each in standard form. Let's do this 2 ways. Let's keep it as it is because the one we did before we didn't combine them together. We'll keep it as it is, identify it, then we'll simplify it and identify it. So 7x and 4x, and then it's minus 1. So like this, what is the degree? What's the highest exponent? 3. And before we simplify it, how many terms does it have? It has
5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
But you guys are super great. We're going to go ahead and simplify this. When we do that, the 7x and the 4x are going to come together and be buddies and be 11x. Does our degree change? Still 3. And now we have a third 3 term, which is a trie. This is the one I want you to use. So when you have the option to simplify it down, go ahead and simplify it down. Okay, guys, take a moment and try this on your own with these two problems. So for this problem right here, in standard form, it goes 8x squared plus 2x minus 3. The degree is 2, and it's a 3-term, which is called a trinomial. This guy right here, we're going to combine together. So remember, we're going to use the one where we combine them together. And we're going to say 7x squared plus 7. The highest exponent is a 2.
Yeah, I don't think you can add those when they have exponents because we didn't do that.
If it's multiplication, if it were multiplication right here, then you would combine the exponents and add them together. Because it's addition, you are just saying I have 5x squared. I'm going to add 2 more x squared. So total I have 7x squared. Just like when we added 4 plus 3 to get 7 regular numbers. It's a second degree polynomial. It has 2 terms. So that is a binomial. Good question. You take the highest exponent, it's the same as the degree. So if you are a squared, your degree is 2. If you're a third, your degree is 3. Rudy?
Sorry, I thought we were there.
We got 3 for
3 terms.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so you have to separate you separate the nomials from the degrees. So what kind of nomial you are is in no way related to the degree you are. Rachel? Numbers? So combine them all together first and then classify. Good question. All right. So, John, to answer your question, if I had an x cubed and a y together, the operation is multiply. So this would be a 4th degree. Because I can't combine them together because one's an x and one's a y. But I'm going to add their exponents to tell me what degree it is. Okay, so we're going to combine together. You have to make sure you have exactly the same variables. So I exactly have to have an x squared to combine with other x squareds. So I'm going to combine these together because the x squared is the same. And this gives me 8x squared. I look over here. I have 1 x cubed y and 4 other x cubed y's. Those items are going to add together, so I have 5 x cubed y. But you have to have exactly the same power and letter. Correct. You can't combine an x cubed and a y cubed. Yeah, cool. Because there's just one here. So the letters are x cubed y. So my letters will be x cubed y. Because I'm just taking that chunk and adding the 2 chunks together.
Why are there 2 y?
I don't want to do those.
I just thought it said
Why is there a plus beside it?
So I'm adding the 2 chunks together. So I have 4 of them over here, 1 of them over here. It's total I have 5. Okay? Now we're going to get a little trickier. I'm going to show you 2 different methods to do this I want you to stick to the method that makes sense for you. We're going to add one trinomial to another trinomial. One thing you can do, and this is my method, this is my personal method, I match up the ones that go together and I combine those all in one. So I'm going to put a line under my x squared. So I put a line under my x squared and I say 4x squared plus 2x squared. How many x squareds all together?
Does it matter if the negative goes?
Yes. Because then you would subtract it.
No, I mean if the not, okay.
So then I'm going to change how I group them together. So now I'm going to do a dot. So I'm going to make all my x's a dot. So my 6x and my minus 9x. So I'm just grouping them so I don't get them confused with my x squared. So I just put dots under my x only. So I only have an x to the 1. I have a 6x to the 1 plus negative 9x to the 1. So 6x to the 1, yeah, plus negative 9x to the 1. I'm not going to put a 1. And then I'm going to put a box around just my number. So I have 3 terms. The first one I underline, all my x squareds, my x's I put a dot underneath, and then my numbers, my whole numbers, I'm going to box. So I'm going to put their positives and negatives with them. So I have 7 plus 1. So this is my personal method. I don't want you to restrict you to this. Let me show you, using this problem here, how you can stack them to add them together. So you're going to put them in standard form. And then you put your operation in the front. So this is called the stack. And then I'm going to put my 2y squared. Oh, this one doesn't have a y squared. Sorry. So when you stack them, you have to leave a placeholder for the ones you don't have. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on, I have it. 7y squared, 5y. I just didn't write the squared. Okay, now I got it. Okay, so underneath the cube, I'm going to put my cubed one here. So it's negative 6y cubed. Then I'm going to put my y squared. Then I'm going to put my 7y. Then this guy has a minus 9. So just like in regular math problems, if I'm missing a term, I'm just going to put a plus 0 kind of as my placeholder. So now we're going to add our items together. 3y squared minus 3y cubed minus 6y cubed is negative y cubed. 7y squared plus 2y squared is 9y squared. 5y plus 7y is 12y, and 0 plus negative 9 is negative 9. All right, you guys get to choose which method you would like to use on these problems. All right, so these guys, the answers are negative 6 plus x to the 4th plus 11 x to the 4th gives us 5x to the 4th. 2x squared y fourths plus 7x squared y fourths gives us 9x squared y fourths. And then this one we have 7x squared plus 1x squared gives us 8x squared. We have 4x's minus 6x's gives us minus 2x's. And 3 plus 5 gives us 8. The same is true with subtracting. So when we don't have parentheses, it's super simple. So we're going to go 4x cubed y minus 1x cubed y gives us 3x cubed y. So before we do our subtraction, we want to make sure we distribute the minus sign. This is the easiest way I found it. So it would be minus 7m cubed. Negative and negative give us a positive 9m. And negative and a positive gives us a minus 6. Now I combine the like terms. I take my squareds, underline them. I don't have any other squareds, but I do have a cube. So negative 7m cubed, and I have a plus 5m squared. Then I look at my m's. I'll make a star. Negative 8m and 9m's combined together to give us 1m. Oh, but I have 2 over here, so actually that's 3m's. Wait, hold on. Hold on, let's try this again. Let's see if I can write it in the correct order. So this is 2m to the 4th, 5m squared minus 8m minus 7. Okay, so now I got 2m to the 4th. He doesn't have any other m to the 4th to combine with. Then I go to my m cubes. I got a minus 7m cubed. Then I have my squares. So I only have 5m squared. Now we got matchers, so we've got negative 8m plus 9m. Means we have 1m. And I'll put a smiley face under my numbers. Negative 7 minus 6 more is negative 13. Right, take a moment. Now you guys try. Pause this recording and complete these two problems. This is negative 4x squared y to the 4th. So this one I'm going to rewrite minus 2c squared minus 9c plus 8. So I don't have any other 6c squares to combine. So he just gets written 6c cubed. I have this negative 2c squared and this negative 7c squared. They combine to give me negative 9c squares. And then in fact, when I take care of them, I'm going to cross them off my list because it's kind of confusing when we get a bunch of them stacked up. So then I'm going to go star 10c minus 9c's. Leave me with just 1c. Cross them out once I deal with them. And then negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4. And that's how we do it.